to send it, so she should join us soon.
Great. All right, so we should be streaming right now. Let me just hit the record button, wherever that is now. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the March 23rd. Is it 23rd now? Wow, year's going fast. The March 23rd, 2023 special meeting for Community Education Council District 2. Today's special meeting is to discuss one item. It's a budget item for the council. It's a technical meeting. There won't be any public speaking sessions during this meeting. It should be a relatively quick meeting. Our Vice President Kaushik Das wanted to provide some more information regarding two special meetings before we start. We're also waiting on one more council member before this meeting will have quorum, so we can then actually begin the meeting. So please, Councilmember Das.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just a point of order. It's been asked before. So with special meetings, as per the bylaws, which were perused by President, Vice President, and the parliamentarian, special meetings can be run in two different styles. They can be either run as a calendar style meeting, which we did on one occasion when we did pass a resolution, or they can be run as a business meeting style, which we've also done on one occasion to discuss budget. All other previous times we discussed budget has always been in a working business meeting type meeting, and that's why we've continued in this manner. Lastly, the single item that we're discussing is for a small reallocation of dollars in budget. Ben, I believe it's Ben or Chen, you can correct me. I think it's well under $1,000, only a few $100.
$2,000.
Oh, it's $2,000. Apologies, $2,000. And further on the item, it should be known that this is $2,000 if we don't reallocate, and we're reallocating towards students in special housing, students in temporary housing. If it's not done, we actually lose this money because it likely won't get spent on other items that we have budgeted for. So that's the reason it's being run this way. It seemed unlikely there'll be public commentary on this. We've come nowhere close to spending our budget last year, and I think this year so far. So that's why it's being run. If there are any additional concerns, please feel free to email us.
Okay, we do have our sixth council member here. So Councilmember Wu. So that being said, so can we, our recording secretary, can we have roll call, please? Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Yes. I don't have all this now, like order.
I can do it if you want.
Sure. Can you do this for us?
Okay.
Please.
Robin Broshi, absent. Kaushik Das.
Here.
Daniela Igorov, absent. Lupe Hernandez, absent. Robin Kelleher.
Present.
Chen Kwok.
Here.
Benjamin Morden.
Here.
Len Silverman, absent. Janie.
Here.
And Lily.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you very much, everyone. So we have roll call, we have quorum, so we can have our special meeting for March 23rd, 2023. And the light item agenda item is the agenda item for this meeting is to discuss a budget reallocation. I think it might be helpful if I can just, if you don't mind, Chen, it was Chen's Treasurer Kwok's table. So I want to just show that to everyone. If you want to explain it to everyone that.
Can I share my screen?
Oh, you want to do it? Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to. I think you're true.
Okay, so I just want to. I created a new column called third modification, which is what it is that we're proposing. My understanding is that we're proposing to move the money that hasn't been spent, that's on the P card, to other budget categories. because we will not be able to use the P card at the end of the term. So the column M, which I've highlighted here, you can see that, shows what we had agreed to modify last meeting previously and submitted to the DOE budget office. And that has total 2,000, but we, in that sub category, we have money that's also allocated for the software products, software services, like events calendar, the mailbox, that we were planning to pay for through the P card. And I had made adjustments accordingly to reduce that spending out of the technology software services bucket, which would have used the purchase order. So now this is one of the things we need to clarify what we move. There's a balance of 745 that were meant for other spending that's not software related, technology related. So that I think that is more easily just moved to another category unless we have new spending. So I just want to just clarify with Chanel whether we have anything that we spent on P card thus far that would reduce the total balance of 2,000.
Nothing on the P card. We did make the purchase for the, I can't see the screen. It's really small. But we did make the purchase for the student temporary housing, the supplies.
Okay.
And Sunny did say to move it to supplies. That's the only change we can do since the deadline for this passed already.
Okay, so just to clarify that, are you able to see? I'm trying to move it. Are you able to see better now?
Hold on. Okay, yeah.
So this column is the column M. So I just want to clarify that you said that we have not spent any of the 2,000 in the P card yet. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
What's
And
that?
the last meeting for the budget modification, we've approved the allocation of $12,175 for spending on students who are either temporary housing, migrants, or otherwise for supplies to support students. So that is still there. So that's okay. So that I can okay, that we understand. That's a good level set. Thank you. So now the question then is the 1255 here that's been earmarked to purchase stuff through the P card that's software related, the technology software services related. How should we move that? Because I just want to make sure we can pay for any bills that are due towards throughout the rest of the year. That's in addition to what we have here in the software category, about 1380 here.
Can I just state one thing? The main item there is the Wix payment, which is for our email accounts, and the DOE will no longer let us prepay for the year. And the next payment, which is due in May, would be for the majority of it would be for the next council's term. So we can't prepay it. So RA Chanel Harry has looked into paying it and so but we can't get we won't be able to get invoices from Wix till May for monthly use because we've already.
How much is it per month?
It's a little less than $7, like $6.75 per email account we have 15 email accounts. So, and that's per month. So let's say $7 for just quick. So that's $105 a month times. So we need to pay for at least 2 months, May and June. And then the other council has to, becomes the other council's issue. So it's $200 or $210 really.
So I'm going to say 210. Will we be able to that's without taxes, right?
Yeah. yeah, so maybe 220 or something like that. But I'm rounding up. It was 675. Was it
Yeah,
Chanel?
it was around 675.
Yeah, so I rounded up to 7. So it's close to about between 210 and 220.
Can I just be safe and say 250?
Sure. Yeah, maybe it's a different price when you pay ahead, for the full year. Councilmember Sim, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so for the P card, is it the case that we have to use the money on the P card by a certain date or we lose it? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that helps me because now I think we're just focusing in because the money that's in the P card of 1255, it's kind of a use it or lose it. So I think we've come together as a council to figure out where we need to allocate it because we probably won't spend all of it, but we don't want to lose it. Is that a fair assessment of what we're trying to do?
Absolutely. That's it in a nutshell. We won't be able to use it after April 7th.
Okay.
That's
got it.
one.
Okay.
And two, as our Chanel Harry mentioned, she spoke with Sunny, and the only item since the time for reallocations for modifications to budgets has passed, they will only accept
Putting in office
allocating it into the supplies line item.
Okay, so then I think that kind of that leads us to our conclusion. So whatever we need to allocate for things that we know we need to pay for, which is the WICs, and then the rest goes into office supplies. So we're not limited in terms of, if we put in office supplies, but let's say we have, something comes up that is a stretch to call it office supplies, will we not be able to use it? Or is it, there's a little bit of flexibility there?
I think we have some money set aside in another account. In technology. We have $1,600 there. And I think if I were to pay for, let's say if I used my credit card to pay for it, I believe Sunny would reimburse me from our technology account, the $250.
Okay.
Chen, is this the up-to-date spreadsheet? Because from March 8th, that one, it's supposed to show 2,000 on the P card.
Yeah, he has items. One is 750, 745.
Yeah,
And the other one was 1255.
yeah. In the column M, that's what it is.
Yeah. So if you add those two items, that's the P card total, 2,000.
Okay, so for that, for the supplies general, under that, that goes under 2 lines. So that goes under the P card plus the consumable supplies. I can't show my screen for that because it has codes that like the general can't see. But if you break that up, for the P card, if you put it under, it would go under consumable supply. I don't know if you have that one in the spreadsheet. Consumable supplies, just to move to 2,000 there. And that it'll be general enough to pay for everything that you would need, whether it be like reimbursement for the email, anything else for student temporary housing. It's easier for them to get the money from there. Once it's in the P card, you wouldn't get it out from there. But for the supplies general, that breaks up under 2 lines.
I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. Can you just repeat that? I'm sorry.
Okay, so for the budget that Sunny sent, right, it gives me like the codes and everything to put in. So I can't share that right now.
Okay.
But these are the lines it has. It has technology software, which is the 1,380, office supplies, which is 100, member reimbursement, which is 9,345, consumable supplies, which is 12,175, and P card 2,000.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is move the 2,000 to the consumable supplies. Consumable supplies or
Supplies general.
Those are the only 2s that would you would be able to get the money out of, because it goes under general. It can go under member reimbursements because you wouldn't get that out. So it's just moving the 2,000 to consumable supplies or software.
So you're talking about consumer supplies and materials for students?
It can go under that line, or it could go under the software services.
Right, right. So this is what I was talking about, like what portion are we going to move for the software that we still have to pay for? Because we're putting money in the P card to pay for software services with the 1255 originally.
Yeah, well,
So that was the question. So that can we decide, we just said we would we would allocate 250 for the mailbox, Wix mailbox, that we have to pay on a monthly basis now. And then that would take away 250 from the 1255 and the P card that's remaining. You know. And then-
Chanel, would he allow the 250 to go into the technology?
I'm on the phone with him right now asking him.
Okay,
Because it's still under budget code of 100. It's in the same budget code. That's why. So that's why it should be allowable, because that's what Cheryl just said. We can move it to technology software services because it's under 100.
okay. Oh, I should also mention the events calendar. That might be, I don't think there'll be a way to pay that monthly, and that's $50. So I really think we probably should make it 300 then. I'm sorry.
For the events calendar.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Sunny's gonna join. I'm gonna send him the link now.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
When is the events calendar payment due? I thought we didn't have to pay it.
I'll check.
Or were we paying it through the P card? Was that what we're thinking?
It was going to be paid through the P card, but I'll check to find out when that's due. That's going to take me a moment.
There's a bug in the software here. The sum's not working. I see why. Now it's working. Okay. So right now I've reflected the reduction in the P card under the software side down to 950 to put it into 55 for the events calendar and then 250 for the mailbox, the Wix mailbox.
It's due around end of May, like May 26th, the events calendar. It
Okay.
was $52 last year.
So the question is, how are we going to pay for it through POs and so forth?
I can maybe use my credit card and then get reimbursed, submit for a reimbursement, because that's not a reimbursement from a membership. It's reimbursement from our budget.
So what he's saying is not to move the money around, to just vote on canceling the P card and using it towards supplies. But he's going to join soon to explain it more.
So are you able to get reimbursed, President Morden, out of the 100 category, the budget category, not from your member expenses?
That's the impression I'm under. Yeah.
Okay. And then we can keep it in the software services 100 budget category.
Yeah. So hopefully you can join soon, because I thank you all for joining us, by the way, all our council members. This is above and beyond duty to come here in the middle of a day during a work week, business week. So thank you all for joining. I'm glad we have a quorum.
Can you make Sunny a co-host?
Oh, did he join? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. 1 second. Hey, welcome, Sunny. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sonny.
Hi. Hello. So we have some questions for you from our treasurer Hawk.
Let's go. Let's bring them.
Yeah, so hi. Yeah, so what we're doing now is, if you can look on the screen, I don't know if you can.
Yep.
Originally approved second modification that we submitted before
Mhm.
is as such. With 2,000 in the P card, we had a sub allocation for the P card to be paying for software services, which
Yep.
totals 1,255. Now we're trying to now reduce that and move the money from the P card into the actual software categories. So one of which is the change. If we look at column N, we have the Wix events calendar, $55, which I'm highlighting. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep,
And
I can
then-
see it.
And then the mailbox is $250. So we've got about $305 taken off the P card. Then we would then assume to be paid by PO. I just want to make sure that that can happen. And then the
So-
rest of the balance that we think we had saved just in case, then we could now redirect to other budget categories. That's under 100.
Got it. So I'm just going to chime in here and just give you some extra information.
Yeah.
You guys cannot change the budget anymore. That deadline was, I believe, March 3rd, which you guys met that deadline to move the money around. Now, as Chan, I know you may know this, but for the others, the P card in the lens of the DOE gets treated as a supply. So therefore, we have to park that money on the supplies line. The only thing we can do today is for the council to vote and agree that you want to take the money off of the P card and let it sit in its current line of supplies and basically apply that $2,000 to the existing supply monies that you're trying to procure. You can no longer move the money into a different bucket because that deadline already passed. So theoretically, all we're doing today is voting, if everybody agrees, that we're not going to have a P card and those funds can be used to procure supplies. That's it.
Question.
Yep.
So we know that the supplies is under budget code 100. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that software services is also under budget code 100. Is that correct?
Correct.
So therefore, we can move that $2,000 P card into software services as we need to for the spending.
Within your budget, yes, but in my lens, I'm looking at that 2,000 as just another supply line.
Okay, but it doesn't make a difference to you if that supply line is for a Wix app events calendar or for pencil sharpeners.
So let's take that a step further. For the Wix app, you guys gonna do a PO for that?
We don't know yet. They haven't provided us an invoice, and this will be the first time we're doing it monthly because we haven't even been able to finalize that because we've only done it annually. That's how it was originally set up before any of our terms as
Gotcha.
council members. So
just bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up your latest budget. So currently, you have the 1380 in tech software, though, no?
Yeah.
So you're saying you would need more than that for Wix and things like that?
Well, and Constant Contact, maybe. We might need another 200-300. But if we put it all under line 100, does it matter if it's technology or supplies for students?
No.
So therefore, we should just put the whole P card into line 100 and
All I'm saying is rename the P card line to supplies. That's it.
okay.
At a high level.
At a high level.
So this screen, I've changed my screen on where I shared screen. So if we say third modified, we can just move the P card from 2,000 and into. I can put this in software if I want because it's 100 to you. It's 100. It's the same thing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Made it too big of a change. So theoretically, I'm just saying theoretically, this is still a draft in the column C that I'm looking at. I can make this 3380, take zero out the P card, sorry. And then we're good. Is that right?
If
Is
it
it-
adds up to 25,000, yes.
That's equivalent to you, right? There's no difference whether it's in the tech 100 or the consumables 100.
No.
Now, other question is, in terms of reimbursement, does it require it to be a PO, or can council members or the president pay for it by credit card and get reimbursed out of these 100 budget category?
That is not the preferred method and the best practice, because we don't want to impose cost on council members. And also, we want to make sure that we're abiding by our procurement rules. In a one-off situation, in an extreme circumstance, we can talk about the possibility of that.
Okay, because my concern is that some of the software companies, service providers, will only have a minimum payment on an annual basis, and that they may accept. There's all kinds of terms and conditions and restrictions. The fear is that they would only allow short-term, agreements or usage to be paid by credit card and not PO. And then, DOE may have a requirement that says everything has to be paid by PO. You know what I'm saying? So, and then because our order is not so big, the vendor won't accept a PO for a small order.
Yeah,
So that's the deadlock that we've seen before.
yeah, I hear that, and I understand the circumstance. We can definitely talk about that, the individual spending and what that could look like offline.
Okay.
But the general premise for everybody should be: you don't pay out of pocket when it comes to the council business, or any purchases, directly for the business of the council without prior approval from the president, as well as in consultation with the AA and the SGO. So that's why, I don't want to say yes, it's allowed. I'd want to say we'd have to look at extreme circumstances. Obviously, one of those extreme circumstances could be not having an AA to do the POs for you. But we can definitely discuss that offline.
Okay, and hence we've always tried to be proactively engaged with you to understand what we can and cannot do.
Wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sonny. You've been a tremendous help. I appreciate you coming on such short notice.
Yeah.
So we can theoretically make a motion to just move the money out of the P card, right? That would be our motion, right?
Yep.
Our decision point. And and my suggestion is to be safe, to move the money to the software just to cover our costs. Because we've already agreed on some of the expenses, but we can
Treasurer Quag,
yeah.
I think it's just safer to not allocate it to one or the other and just to line 100, because that's how Sonny's seeing it. So, and that gives us some flexibility if we want to do technology purchases, or if we need to do a student purchases, just make it general 100.
Yeah, in my lens, I'm renaming this existing line from P card to supplies.
Okay.
And this happens a lot with councils, where you guys will take a deeper dive to break out exactly how it's being spent. But on my side of it, I'm looking at a high level. So for me, it all counts as supplies.
Okay, here's what I propose to do. I will create a for the third modified budget, I will just change the categories just to be 100. And then that's it. The P cards numbers will be subsumed in that overall supplies category. But that we know can include both the technology software services and consumables that we've earmarked.
Perfect.
So I will demonstrate.
While you do that, can I make a motion?
Go ahead. Yes.
All right. I make a motion to move the existing total of $2,000 in the P card to the line 100 in supplies for our third modification to our budget.
I second that motion.
So Councilmember Kwok, since we're in motion now, can you explain that, and then we can go to the vote if there aren't any questions.
We can, let me just demonstrate it this way. I'll just demonstrate it this way. Spelling's bad. This is it. So this starting in row 15 will be the third modified budget. You can see this. We've in effect moved the 2,000 into the supply line, and I've collapsed all the tech and the consumables into 100 under supplies. And for Sunny's purpose, it would be, that's all he needs to see, which then it all ties up to $25,000. Just to double check on the math. Yes. So this is the row 15 and A15 onwards would be the third modified budget that we would agree to vote on, I guess, after moving 2,000 from P card into a general category of supplies.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, okay. So can we have a roll call vote on this?
So I second it.
Yeah, we ready. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Robin Roshi, absent. Akshay Das. Akshay, can you unmute?
I did unmute. Did you not hear me?
You didn't hear me?
No.
We can hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Daniela Igorov is absent. Lupe Hernandez is absent. Robin Kelleher, yes. Jen Kwok,
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
Len is absent. Lim Pong Sim, Janie,
Yes.
and Lily.
Yes.
Okay, passes. Total is 6 yeses.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny.
All right. So I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second, but I also want to say thank you to Chanel because she's making this possible. and
Yes.
helping.
Thank you so much, Chanel.
Yeah, and I also want to thank Chanel. Thank you for all you've done, your diligence, and your conscientiousness, and keeping everything in order and on schedule. Thank you very much.
No problem. Please send me your reimbursements quick.
When's your last day again?
The 7th, but the reimbursements by the 31st. The last day. Yeah. Just in case we get denied and have to fix it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chanel.